What's up, guys? It's Eric McAvoy here with your road to financial freedom, and in today's episode, I want to talk about defining your why. Now, first off, let's talk about what is a why and why do we need it. So, the way I like to look at it is a why is simply the reason that you're doing something. So, for example, with us working towards financial freedom, your why would be, why are you saving so much money? Why are you not going out to dinner as much? Why are you, living with 4 roommates? Why are you buying rental properties? Why are you investing all your money in the stock market? Whatever it may be. And so really being able to think about that and, sit down and kind of figure out what you want your life to look like. Now, why is it so important to have a strong why? You might be wondering. Well, a lot of the stuff that we do on this journey, I know that I'm doing personally, is not as ideal as we would like it, right? So, for example, living in a house with 3 other roommates versus by myself. That's one example. Skipping dinners out or cooking at home more. Maybe not driving the nice car that I'd like to drive. Maybe, very rarely buying new clothing. Not having cable TV, whatever it may be, all these things that I personally that I do, and that I'm sure you guys do as well, do to save money to then invest. They're not as fun as maybe not doing them. Yeah, I'd love to drive a nice, cool, fast car, and I could, but I choose not to. I could live by myself in this house or in a nice house, but I choose not to. I could go out to dinner 3 or 4 times a week, but I choose not to. And so it's those little things, those little habits that I want you guys to focus on that are so important. But those are also kind of the sacrifices that we make in order to achieve what we're working towards. And so it's in the day-to-day, kind of mundane, when you're making all those sacrifices and not experiencing the thing that you're working towards, that you need a solid why. Because a lot of times I'm like, oof, I really want to go to dinner, or I'm thinking of trading my car, or it'd be cool to have a nicer house, whatever it may be, but then I have to stop, take a step back and think, no, that's not going to help me in the long run. Sure, it might be nice now, but then I'll just get used to it, and then I'll want something bigger and something better. So just suck it up for now, so that down the road you can have something much bigger or much better if that's what you want to work towards. So with working towards, financial independence, an exercise I want you guys to do is try and define what you want your life to look like. So, do this exercise. Sit down, think, maybe close your eyes and think, okay, what do I want my day to look like? When I wake up, where do I want to wake up? What do I want to see? What do I want to hear? Do you want to wake up in a small apartment to a loud alarm clock at 5 a.m. because you have to go to work? Maybe. Personally, no. I want to wake up in a nice house close to the beach, maybe a lake, to natural light coming in or just naturally. And I want to be able to, spend my morning kind of doing what I want. And I want you guys to do that, but with every hour of the day or every segment, So what does your morning look like from, maybe 7 to 11 or whatever? What does that chunk of time look like for you? Ideally, if you did not have to go to work, you could do kind of whatever you want. And there's no limit. So what does that look like for you? And then, lunchtime, afternoon, what are you doing then? Evening, all that kind of stuff. So think about that and write it down, kind of create the vision. I wouldn't expect you to come up with all that in one sitting because it does take a while to kind of figure all that out, but slowly brainstorm about that. What do you want just your day-to-day life to look like? Yes, of course, there are going to be bucket list things like, I want to go to Bora Bora, or I want to go to Australia, or I want to drive a Lamborghini, or one of my big ones is I want to take my family on a really cool, all-inclusive vacation outside of the U.S., something like that. So those are extremely important, and those are very strong whys, So me wanting to take my family on a trip, that's one of my personal, really strong ones. But what are some of the small, what are some of the little ones, do you want to never question whether or not you can buy an appetizer? I know one of the big ones for me is when I go out to eat, I want to order based on what the food is, not the price. Personally right now, I know I always look at the price and I make sure to factor that in when I'm deciding what to eat. So that to me right now is a sacrifice that I'm making because I'm working towards the point where I can say, I want what I want because it sounds good, and that's food-wise the number one thing I want, not price-wise the thing that makes the most sense. So there's like another little example. Have little day-to-day whys. So that's one. Always ordering based on the food, not the price. Always being able to get appetizers. Being able to stay at nice Airbnbs when I'm traveling. Being able to travel more. Being able to drive the nicer car. These little kind of small things outside of the big, go on some huge trip or travel the world or whatever it may be. Bring it down to the daily little, like, what does your actual day-to-day life look like? And so defining that vividly. So I want you guys to practice sitting down, closing your eyes, and visualizing what a day will look like. Just walk yourself through it mentally. And then be able to really emotionally attach yourself to that end result, right? So the day-to-day tasks, whenever you pass up on dinner, or whenever you, get back on the old clunker of a car that you drive even though you could afford something else, or whenever you buy another rental property, or whenever you put 70% of your paycheck into an IRA, whatever it may be. When you do that, you have to tell yourself, I'm doing this because I'm working towards X, right? Because it's super easy to say, maybe for now I'll go to dinner, or maybe I could do the nicer car. And it's like, yeah, you could, but is driving a slightly nicer car now worth putting off your dream of, again, taking your family on a really nice vacation in X number of years? Is it worth putting that off by 3, 5, 10 years, or however long it may put it off by? So, and some things, yeah, they are worth it. Sometimes you are going to not make the sacrifice, and that's okay. But knowing that you're doing it, and knowing why, and knowing whether or not you want to make the change or not, is wildly important. So with defining your why, again, figure out what really drives you, what motivates you. What are some things you want to check off your list? What are some things you want to help other people do? What do you want your day-to-day life look like? Define that, make it very vivid, and then be able to very, very strongly, emotionally connect yourself to that end goal, and then be able to associate that end goal with what you do on a day-to-day basis. So one of the examples I've talked to my friends and family about is, one of my biggest, strongest whys is I want to be able to provide for my family. I intend on getting married and having kids. So one of my biggest things for me is I want to be able to provide for them. I never want to have to say, no, we can't do that because of money, or no, we can't send you to the school, or we can't pay for your soccer gear, or I can't make it to your ballet recital, or whatever it may be. I never want to say that. So what I've now done is every time I save money, every time I invest money, every time I go, looking at real estate or try and buy another rental or try and flip a house, I'm thinking, okay, I'm doing this for my family, and it's true, I am. And you have to believe that very strongly with every ounce that you can. Of course I have my fun goals. I want to drive a Lamborghini. I'm going to do that. And I want to travel the world. I want to do all these cool trips. I want to go skydiving in Bora Bora. Whatever, right? I want to do that stuff. But that's the fun. Those are the fun, exciting goals. What are the goals that are going to get you fulfillment? What genuinely makes a huge impact on your life and how you feel as a person and who you are, right? For me, providing for my family. That's number one above all else. Yeah, the car's cool, but I know it's not going to fulfill me. I'll get over it. It'll be exciting when I first do it. And then I don't know if it'll get old. We'll see. I haven't driven a Lamborghini yet. But, so think about those whys. Have your exciting ones, right? Like for me, the Lamborghini. Maybe for you, it's, going to Antarctica. I don't know. Or maybe it's petting a kangaroo in Australia or whatever, So have your exciting ones, have your exciting goals, your exciting whys, but then also sit down and really think, what are my fulfillment goals, or what are my fulfillment whys? Again, for me, providing for my family, taking my family on a trip, maybe helping my siblings start their business or support them as best I can in any kind of financial way possible. You know what I mean? So sit down, really take some time to find that, write it down, visualize yourself living that life, visualize yourself doing the exciting goals, visualize yourself doing the fulfilling goals, and be able to, again, emotionally attach those goals to the day-to-day tasks. Because yes, it's not the most fun thing to save money. It's not the most fun thing to drive a lower grade car. It's not the most fun thing to live in a lower grade house. But you have to be able to attach what you do today to what you'll get tomorrow, right? So as a key takeaway from this video, guys, I want you to really think about that. Visualize what your life will be like. Define your whys, write them down on a whiteboard, print it out, get a vision board, whatever it may be. Do that. I promise you it makes a world of difference when you're just getting started on this journey. And comment down below. Let me know what's something you guys want to check off your bucket list, or what's something you want to do for someone else. Toss it down below. If you found value in this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit the blue thumbs up button. It really helps out the channel quite a bit. And I hope to see you guys next time.